Gary, what can Tuesday night's win do for the club going forwards?
Well, hopefully, it's always nice to win a game, however you win it. We come out and we're in the next round of the Caribou Cup, so that's always nice. I'm sure the lads will have a smile on their face this morning, even though we let a 2-0 lead slip, but it was a cup game, so the opposition are going to go for it a little bit anyway at the end. So I think it'll help with confidence. I think, as I said on the day, that more people will see a little bit more of what we got in the squad. I thought a few of the lads showed their good game, if you like. They've got a great game, but we've got to make sure that they bring that out soon. But it's just typical of a new group trying to gel and trying to work out who's on form, who's not on form, and which group of 11 do you pick, because some of them train really well and then haven't quite done it in games. But it is early doors, and hopefully it'll help us kick on and go into the next couple of league games with a bit of confidence.
And how important is it that your next game's at home, so the fans who weren't there on Tuesday can come along and actually see that improvement for themselves?
Well, we hope so. I mean, it's not always the way football goes, is it? If we could write the script, it would be exactly that. That they would perform, and but there's a better chance of them having come off the back of the Colchester win, of them performing, and when they do perform, they have got the ability to excite. And the two lads up front sort of haven't been around very long full-time football, and certainly Calvin, he had a horrendous couple of weeks, where he was stopped at an airport and living in the streets in Birmingham because he couldn't get an hotel. He had an unbelievable couple of weeks, so he can only get better. Alex can only get stronger. Some of the other lads that hadn't played in the league, Brimmy, I thought he had a fantastic game on Tuesday. So there's early reasons why we didn't start so well, but we won't use that as an excuse. But I did say that people will see that there's a bit more to them, and hopefully they've seen a little bit more from Tuesday.
How's Jordan Forster come through his 90 minutes return?
He done well. I mean, again, I don't think anybody's come away and said he looked unfit or he looked like he was injured. He's not got over his injury. We've left it as long as we could. I mean, of course, we've still got to look after him because it was still a major injury. And but I thought he did very well, and he was certainly a good part of our success on Tuesday, and even scored a penalty.
Is the second game back almost more difficult because maybe you can get through the first on adrenaline?
Yeah, maybe. We don't know. I think he's an experienced enough defender and person to know, how his body is. He'll talk to me today, and we'll find out what he wants to do. But I'm sure he'll tell me that he's available for selection because that's the warrior that he is.
Carlisle have been struggling so far. They're looking for their first win. I mean, I presume more than anything, especially after losing 5-1 to Blackburn on Tuesday, they're going to be hurting, aren't they? So I suppose you kind of know what to expect in that way.
Yeah, but I mean, Blackburn are a championship side, aren't they? And yes, you can be disappointed by losing 5-1, or you can be invigorated. We've got to make sure that we're ready for the best of Carlisle as opposed to the worst, because they've still got some decent players, and we need to be focused and we need to do our job. We need to make sure that we play our game against them and not wait for their game to come out because they're angry because they got beat against Blackburn. So we got to be careful there because they're a decent side, and it should be another good football match.
You mentioned the front two. Do they always pick themselves at the moment because A, of numbers, and B, actually because they performed on Tuesday?
Well, you pick teams on those decisions, if you like. Whether somebody's played well the game before, what you've got in reserve. Of course, we still feel as a club that we we need to bring in numbers, especially in the striking side. But McAlinden hasn't really got going yet. He hasn't shown what he's got, and we hope that he can do something when he comes back in. Could be this week, could be next week. Of course we brought Duku in, which was disappointing that we lost him. But at the moment we've got 3, but we're looking to possibly bring in another one to add to the competition.
And is there any progress to report on that it might happen before the weekend?
Nothing to report, no. But we're looking, and we're looking very, very hard. We've gone to a lot of games. The staff have been talking to all their contacts, and you have to wait and see what comes up.
Obviously, you've mentioned Manny Duku. Injuries, how's the rest of the squad?
We're okay. I mean, Huzzy's training as normal. He's not available till the Macclesfield game for selection because of the ban that he had. But he's training normal now, so he's in our midst now. And it's just Duku and Longy. They're the two. Longy's come out of his boot now, which is good. But he's got to do a rehabilitation program that might take a few more weeks. But at least he can walk normally now out of his boot. So it'd be good to get the whole squad fit. And the whole squad have been good actually, because the injured ones, the ones that haven't played, the ones that have been subs, they've all understood. And that win sort of helps you get a good little camaraderie, if you like, because that always makes everybody feel better and have a little bit more trust in each other that there's a game in them. And that's what we need to perform and show now over the next couple of games.